Welcome to our unpopular opinion. Now I am your Mr. Stradivari, Mr. B, and I have on there Miss D. Go
Hey
ahead.
y'all.
I have on my Miss Marcella
Hey, everybody.
and Miss Michelle,
What's
and
up,
hopefully,
everybody?
and hopefully we'll have Miss Felicia just drop back in and come on into our daily show that we're having. All right, ladies. Today we're actually going to be talking about a couple of things. I don't want to burst your bubbles on it, but right now I see that some ladies. Let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and talk about a little bit of Earth, Wind, and Fire versus the Isley Brothers versus mode. And if you didn't even see it, hopefully I can get your opinion about the actual Earth, Wind, and Fire or who you like the most. But I'm going to tell y'all right now, Ronald Isley was looking super duper sharp. And I'm telling you, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Earth, Wind, and Fire. So the versus mode went about 4 hours. It had Steve Harvey and another cat on there basically giving their stories about what they thought about Earth, Wind, and Fire. And eventually they told Steve Harvey he's talking too much because they wanted to hear all the music. So Steve
Yeah.
Harvey sat down in the joint. So who's number one? Who's number one in your book right now? Let's go backwards on Earth, Wind, and Fire or Ozzy Brothers, Miss Michelle.
Well, I was probably being planned to be born when they was already out singing. However, I did hear their music. I've
Okay.
heard Isley and I've heard Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Okay.
And just from the times I've heard the type of music that they both have created, I would definitely have to say Earth, Wind, and Fire wins this one from a younger person perspective. I actually like their music. I like Ron Isley. He was just too cool for me, too high pitched. I couldn't get with that. So yeah.
Okay. What about you, Marcella?
Well, it's a toss up because my mom listened to Earth, Wind, and Fire, so I grew up listening to them. But I really started appreciating the Isley Brothers when they started doing music with R. Kelly. So if I had to choose, I like I think that Earth, Wind, and Fire is great in concert. I've watched a couple of their old concerts on I think DVD.
Uh-huh.
And but I truly do like the Isley Brothers music.
Okay.
I can't pick one. They both fabulous. I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't select one. I can't.
I might have to agree. I can't choose between the two.
Yeah.
They both, for me, have a purpose. If I want to just relax and get on a vibe, I'm gonna throw on some Earth, Wind, and Fire. If I want to
Yup.
make a baby, I'm gonna put on the Isley Brothers.
Okay.
Oh, and that's how you
Okay.
going. That's how y'all gonna end it off like that.
That's how
Well,
we
see,
pretty
as
much.
a musical connoisseur of music, being a music teacher, both of them play both sides because Earth, Wind, and Fire has more of an instrumentalist side, and then the Isley Brothers is a more smooth down side. Now, Marcella definitely hit it in the ballpark when you said the
Yeah.
R. Kelly mode, because
Yes.
that was an argument on the on this actual one because they said Contagious was on there and they were singing Contagious and they was like, why y'all singing some of R. Kelly stuff? And I thought it was kind of clever, me personally.
Yeah. You can't leave that out. That's part of the discography.
And Ronald Isley, he had a little bit of snow in his beard and it matched his suit and everything. It was all debonair. It was just sharpness after sharpness. The music was so long. I mean, if your mama and your old papa was watching that, they didn't go to bed till like 12 o'clock in the Eastern time. So that's you know how that is. You see what I'm saying? So it was a very, very, very tight moment for a lot of people because they wanted to stay up for so long. That's why they was telling Steve Harvey, shut up. Don't give me no stories about Earth, Wind, and Fire. Don't give me nothing about the Isley Brothers. Just let the music go. Let the music play because these guys got hits after hits after hits after hits. And actually having these type of hits, I want to know. Are we done with that total understanding of the Isley brothers. Anybody else want to piggyback on the Earth, Wind, and Fire mode instruments or anything? Because I have another question when it comes to musician and music. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to say that I really, really enjoy that genre of music. It was more romantic. I like the costumes. I remember, I think they called Ron Isley Mr. Big too, right?
Mr. Big.
Yes, yes, Mr. Big.
So, I mean, so it's almost like when remember Rick James. Let me see. This is off the beaten path. Remember Dave Chappelle brought Rick James back out on his show. That's kind of what happened to the Isley brothers. They were classic, but I feel that R. Kelly, it's a Shantae Moore doing collaborations with those artists kind of brought them to the forefront of my generation. I just I love it. The classy, the styling, older black guys is just dressing with the nice shoes, just smooth. They remind me of my uncles.
Mm-hmm. The showmanship.
It's really no groups that's
the swag.
Really doing
they just
stuff
had
like
that swag.
No, I mean, these are the 80s, and technically, are they 70 or almost 80
70.
years old playing in music today? And me personally, I just think the whole entire style of their music has been totally washed away. It's totally been swimmed over. I mean, we got the Migos. I mean, who's going to give you a love song at this point?
No, you ain't getting no love song. You're going to get something else.
Well,
you're going to make some babies.
See, but you got to have instrumentalists. You got to have a little bit of musicality. It just can't be all bass. Can't be all bass and all trouble. It has to be a little bit of everything, all of the instruments, a little bit of flowing, a little bit of theory to it. They have to have a process. If they don't have a process, that's really not music to me. They
Says
just
the musician.
They just going to the beat. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. So at this point in time, ladies, I really want to know, why is it so hard? We're going to talk about DMX at this point.
Here we go.
Do you know about the DMX story and how his life was first into drugs and now he's back on the same path of doing drugs again? Can you ladies give me any insight on DMX and what do you think is going to be the outcome of his story? Go ahead, Miss D. Can you give me something on that?
I mean, he had a troubled past and cleaned himself up, but I think, for me, I'm always on my conspiracy theory stuff. DMX was good, but when he starts speaking out against the things going on in the industry, all of a sudden he starts to have trouble again. And, he'll keep his mouth shut for a while, and then when he starts speaking out again, he gets in trouble again. So, I think that at the end of the day, if he doesn't come out of this vegetative state, I mean, that's going to be his legacy, because that's what the media is going to want him to be remembered by. They're going to want him to be remembered by his drugged and troubled past. They're not going to want him to be remembered by his passion and outspokenness against the ills and the evil going on in the industry.
Okay.
So, I think they're gonna leave him his legacy as a drug addict and a troubled person with mental illness.
Really, really. Okay. Yeah. What about you, Marcella?
I love DMX. Rough Riders, Eve. I remember the anthems. We all know that DMX have had a checkered past as it relates to drugs, hallucinations. Okay. I remember running from the cops. I mean, some of his songs he was living out. It was all a part of his image, his brand, his persona.
Okay.
When I mentioned Dave Chappelle, how he would have people come on his show and do ciphers and stuff. His flow was awesome. I'm not sure what's going to happen to him in the hospital, but it's just another cautionary tale of how creatives just get tied up in drugs. And I think pretty much everybody's probably a great majority of people are doing it. No judgment on him. I love just the way he thinks and the way he speaks. I used to watch some of his reality TV shows, and like I said, a lot of his songs are anthem. It's just unfortunate, and I hope he pulls through.
Okay. What about you, Michelle?
She's like, who's DMX? You know DMX?
I ain't that old or young. I mean, well, really old.
It's gonna get any more secular than that, though. I know that's just raunchy hip hop.
I mean, I didn't listen to his music, but I knew of him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you could not know of him.
Yeah.
Back in
Mhm.
his younger days, you could not know of him. But
Mhm.
is he? You said something about in the vegetative state. He's in the hospital.
Mhm.
He was, yeah, he pretty much OD'd.
Mhm.
They, I just saw him on a video with a gospel artist. He was at her house. I don't know if y'all
Okay.
saw that video, but he was at the house of a gospel artist, and I
Okay.
didn't know it was him until the title of the video said DMX and such and such.
Okay.
And when after the young lady finished singing, then DMX started. Yeah, he went left. I mean, you couldn't understand what he was saying. He was trying, and I felt bad for him. I really did because I knew about the past drug life, and you will hope when you don't see people, you know, um, if you don't see people in a while that they would have gotten themselves together. So
Okay.
it's just, I feel bad for him. I wish that somebody would have just taken the time out to help them like they help everybody else. But I guess because of the way or what he stood for and and his reputation, I guess they just didn't want to associate themselves with him, which is, fine. But overall, I hope he found Christ, through all the insanity and all that craziness. I hope he
Mm,
found. Yeah, I mean, you can always hope at the last minute. You can always hope, but
he better
overall,
hope right now then.
well, you never know. You listen. We serve a God of all, so you just never know. Even at that last moment, you never know.
Well, at this point in time, when I'm thinking of DMX, he's a pioneer of rap music. I mean, the deep, scratchy voice rapper that nobody else can really kind of take away from. You know, he has his own kind of style, which is different from other people. So, me personally, DMX would probably he would get ranked higher if he wasn't on the drugs and he wasn't doing the drugs. Personally, it makes him look bad when he's still thinking about those things that put him in that perspective in the first place. And
Well,
by
I
him being
remember him with Ice Cube. Who was the Easy E? I remember all them.
DMX,
I'm just saying. I should have asked the question. Wasn't he around the time of Easy, Ice Cube, and
no,
when did
no,
he come
Nah, he's
around?
more like the Jay-Z Nas era.
yeah,
Oh, he came
Ludacris,
afterwards.
yeah,
He
yeah.
came
yeah.
afterwards. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well then, sorry guys. I listen. I told you I
That's
heard
no.
of y'all, but
I
I
was
wasn't
like,
following
what?
that.
Oh no.
I'm just
I
saying. I
know.
just asked.
When Rough Riders, you gotta think about barbershop and stuff like that when it comes to Rough Riders, like the first barbershop.
Yeah.
You gotta think about stuff like that.
Well, see,
You're
I don't
absolutely right.
know. What was the name of that movie with goodness,
Uh,
Latham, Sanaa Latham and oh dude, Love and Basketball. But what's the other movie they
Love and
played in?
basketball, it's close to that era, but
What's
not
the other
quite.
movie they played?
yeah.
They played in.
He played in Romeo. He played in Romeo Must Die with Aaliyah around when Aaliyah
Uh-huh.
was
Okay, yeah. See, I guess it's that I'm thinking the era during that time, not the one before. So
I
thank
mean,
you for the
he not
correction.
he didn't take on the role of once he got out of jail and be like Lil Bootsy. You know what I'm saying? Lil Bootsy is just blowing up at home in his house
Mhm.
on his Instagram, loving his Instagram. You know what I'm saying? He just
Yeah.
got other people on there acting foolish on there. You know, he's not even doing anything but commenting on what they doing on the whole IG. You know what I mean? So he not taking on the Lil Bootsy role
Mhm.
to me. Plays a very big interlocking perspective for me when it comes to how DMX is going. But you know, I'm just really being honest on that. So I did talk a little bit about, you know, I'm gonna stay in music real quick, but now I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to hit this home run and see if I can get you ladies talking on here. Okay. So
Here we
let me
go.
put you into perspective right now. Bill Cosby is in jail for all of the things that he's done or whatever story they may have brought up on him. Cardi B, on one half, says that she has drugged at least 12 men and basically done the same thing that Bill Cosby has done, but she has gotten no type of problems, no type of sentence, lawyers, anything. It's only just talked about. So, what is the difference between the two, male or female? And I'm gonna definitely start with I'm gonna start with Marcelo on this one. You on mute? You definitely on mute. I definitely got to hear what you guys say.
Well, it's so many parallels to this. Number one, we can't even compare Cardi B to Bill Cosby.
No,
He's
no,
a
but we
he's a legend.
comparing it. We comparing it.
He's a legend. I'm just saying straight up, front and foremost. But secondly, um, I don't think there's any men coming forward saying that they really, wasn't vibing with what she was doing. And as it relates to Bill Cosby, it seems to me to be a modern day lynching, because okay, drugging women and having sex with women that's under the influence isn't acceptable. I mean, it's a big culture and a movement going on right now stating that if a woman is not, sober, then she cannot possibly consent. I just feel that when you look at the different roles in our society and the power
Mm-hmm.
that rape presents against another person, women are
Okay.
not seen as we're not seen if we decide to rape a guy, nobody sees that as a powerful act. Seriously, and then for some degree to some degree they're gonna be like, well, the guy must have wanted it because he was able to perform or whatever. I just think it's role reversal. They see, I think they see
Wow.
Cardi B. Yeah, I mean, if for a woman, me, okay, so take me for instance. I'm an effeminate woman, cisgender. I'm very clear about stating that I'm a naturally born woman, right? If a guy was to go to the police station and say that he was, sexually assaulted by me, it's going to be very challenging because of the mindset of our society and the power dynamic of sex for them to honestly take him fully seriously, unless there's some bruising going on, you know, obviously some level of physical harm. So with Cardi B, she stated that, but I don't think that any of the men came forward and said, hey, Cardi B took my money and sexually assaulted me. And I think most men, just like that one muscular guy that was saying that he was sexually assaulted and people were making fun of him. I forgot his name, Terry Crews. They like to
Okay.
look at you, a big, strong man. Really, you expect us to believe that? I think it has everything to do with gender and our roles in this society. I don't believe in. Do I think it's fair that Bill Cosby is in jail and Cardi B isn't? I really can't say because I don't know the full circumstances. But what I can say, both stories are wild as I don't know what. I mean, Bill giving women pills, and we know back in those days and even now, people were getting effed up. Okay, I ain't even gonna say the words. So they all were high, they all were partying. We know the time.
Uh-huh.
Bill Cosby was and still is a very powerful figure in the man in the entertainment industry. Um, I just think putting him in jail, as old as he is, I don't know what they're trying to prove. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know
It
what
was
they're trying to prove.
pointless. What is your take on this, Michelle?
It's a bunch of crap. Listen, first of all, none of those men are gonna come up and admit she did what she did because they probably glad and wanted to say they got something from her. Okay,
Does that make that right though?
is what does it matter? Like you said, like Marcella said, it's gonna be challenging. I go rape a man, he go in the car in the police station and say she raped me, and they gonna look at him like, huh? So yeah, it's it won't make a difference. The men ain't gonna fess up. They ain't like these women trying to get something out of it. The men ain't gonna fess up. That's something that they can talk about to the day they die. Now, as far as Bill Cosby, he had money. Let me tell you what Bill Cosby did. He made the mistake. One, he had money. That was one. Two, you fooled around and messed around with white folks, and they real quick to get you for your money. And three, he was stupid. Everybody loved and worshiped Bill Cosby. I mean, the legend. I mean, come on, the Cosby Show is stand-up comedies. We all lived off of him. We related with him. It was like your therapy to get you out of that mindset of where you be like, oh, I can't do this. He'll give you that good laugh where whatever you're going through just snap out of you. And he was stupid. So trying to compare this to Bill Cosby, no. They quick to put a man in jail, and then a person of her caliber, they're gonna be like, well, they probably gave in. She didn't have to really drug them. They probably just wanted her to do it and be like, yeah, go ahead and drug it. It was probably consensual. Okay, it was consensual. Bottom line.
All right, well, welcome back, Miss Felicia. I definitely want to hear what you got to say about this.
I missed y'all so much. Like, I didn't think I was going to be able to. I didn't think I would say this soon, but man, I miss y'all.
That's what's up. That's what's
crazy world for me. It's been such a crazy world. We've had so much going on in my family, and so anywho,
what you think about Cardi B and
as I was sitting here, the first thing I thought about was, that was dumb on her part, because she literally could technically have self-incriminated her own self, right? Correct. There's a reality to that, because the old folks said, if it don't catch you now, it's going to catch up with you later. Hello. So unfortunately, if she did go public with that, then she put her own stuff out there. So whatever comes with that, just because it ain't happening today, don't mean it ain't gonna happen tomorrow. I think it's just the way of the world with everything going on. Yeah, we know that there's a reality to this. Like, a man just have it harder in a sense when it comes to his stance with a woman. Because technically men are way more muscular, stronger than women. So it's easy for me to cry wolf that a man rapes me than it is for you to cry wolf that I raped you, right? Because women just can't hold a man down. There's this reality to that strength of the imbalance of it. So I think that's where a lot of this may come into play, in the sense that you look at Cardi B, like, okay, she's harmless per se when you look at her, but when you look at the fact that she did something as illegal as drugs, date drugs, all of that, then, if it do come out in the wash, well, don't come out in the wash, come out in the rinse. If it do come out, and if people start stepping up and complaining about it, I think it's going to carry some volume, because I'll say it again, she self-incriminated her own self. That's crazy to me. Why would I come out here bragging about what I did to men? Why? That's just crazy to me.
That makes a great point.
Yeah, and I'd have to add that, just the fact that she, as a celebrity, openly said that she drug and robbed men when she was a stripper, goes to show you how strong the double standard is in our country. Yeah, like Marcella said, or Michelle said, I don't think there's gonna be any men that's gonna be quick to come forward to say, hey, yeah, I was a victim of Cardi B, unless they see that those dollar signs coming forth, because she's rich now, she put herself out there. So I think I was very, it wasn't very smart on her part to even admit that in public, being that she could have a target on her since she's a rich woman, so she should have just kept her mouth shut. But as far as Bill Cosby being in jail for things that he did, 10, 20 years ago, the system did what it was supposed to do. You have a rich black man about to buy a very powerful network and take over the narrative of a network. Can't have that. They got rid of him. Brought up the past, took him out.
That's really out of control, to be honest. Totally out of control.
That's the main reason why they put his butt in jail. You might as well just Call a spade a spade. That's the real reason why they
Well,
put that
that's
man in
definitely
jail.
because I'm gonna be honest to y'all. You guys, I told you guys I went to Delaware State University, but on graduation, Donald Byrd and Bill Cosby were there, and Donald Byrd wrote a song to Bill Cosby, and he gave a speech at Delaware State University during graduation, and I got to
Mm.
play my instrument and everything with him. And like I told y'all, it was 24-1 at my school. So pretty much, he had women at his feet, you know what I'm saying? At any time, old, new, young, it doesn't matter. He had them, and he didn't take any dives at that point in time. So that lets me know he was a good person to me at this point in time, because
Mm.
every woman to me was beautiful at the school. So I was like, yes, go for it, Bill, go for it. But he wouldn't take the bait. So that's all I'm saying. And I'm not gonna lie to you, we practiced with him for at least 3 weeks before graduation. So it wasn't like, oh, we
Mm.
just saw Bill Cosby for 1 minute. No, he was there every night listening to this old man give us 3-hour speeches, and we only played for 5 minutes. So it was like, oh my God, this is what I need to hear from this great jazz musician. He just talk so much.
Mhm.
But there
Mm-hmm.
was one thing that I did hear that was kind of troubling to me, on how two aspects of the spectrum of the strong man, masculine man versus the
Mm-hmm.
woman. And there is an exciting role that I would like to see, whether it's going to unpopulate or unpopular, give you an unpopular opinion on it, because it actually hits a home run when it comes to certain things. So when it comes to actually being with a woman on this aspect of it, when it comes to doing things with a woman, the male can be broken down. He can be broken down in so many ways. How is this aspect of the male not being broken down to the woman at this point? Because men can be broken down in so many different ways too. But it seems like since he's a masculine man, he can't be.
Yeah.
He has to be thrown. I mean, basically burnt to death in order to feel as though he needs some help. Like, it doesn't. It's like, what? Hold on now.
Well,
So
explain to us how a man could be broken down from your perspective first. How
you
about
don't
you
want
take
my perspective
Nah,
is
I want you to take the lead on this one. You are
Yeah.
always coming to us. How about you take the lead on this one, Mr.
because he could be
Stradivari?
broken down. He could be through love making. He could be broken down. He could be broken down in so many different ways. You might say, "Oh, that's even if you don't give him none at all, he's going to be broken automatically."
But
Because
we
it's
talk
Okay, so
about
minus
when we
sex.
talk about rape though. We talk about rape though.
no, I'm talking
I
about
mean, he's
broken. How you?
the point. I mean, most people feel that they want it anyway. I mean, like a beautiful
No,
woman
I'm
coming.
talking about not
I'm
even
just
let him.
saying.
Not even getting any at all. He
Okay,
could
so
be
how
broken
can he
off
be
the
broken
temptation.
down minus sex? Tell us if a man could be broken down minus
But
sex.
his temptation is what breaks him. That's the whole point of him thinking the way he's thinking, or going through the things he's putting women through, is the temptation of it.
Oh, so you're saying that it's a possibility that Bill Cosby wasn't getting enough loving at home from Camille, and that's what caused him to seek sex in all the wrong places?
I see. I didn't want it to come from me from saying it like that.
But
I
No,
but
wanted it to come
it's
from
I
one.
was
probably
I
just
saying
wanted
not
it to
that.
come from somebody
that
else.
Bill
It's
Cosby
probably just
forgot that
not that.
Bill Cosby had a responsibility to all the young boys in the hood that he came from, because he's from Philly like
He
me,
wasn't
right?
thinking like that though.
So the point is, he forgot though. I mean, he became very powerful in
That's
Hollywood.
that's
He
what made
forgot.
him do what he did, because he got powerful, he got cocky, he got arrogant. Camille probably was taking care of home, but when you get that power and that money and that that
She
whatever
wasn't
y'all
taking
call
care
it.
of him. They probably had some type of maid, something. She wasn't doing nothing after a while. I don't
I
know.
mean,
I don't
But
know.
now
I
we
don't
I agree
know.
with that.
see the
But
problem.
Because
I
don't
told
get
you,
me
we
started
always
on.
blame the
I don't want
women.
to
Why
get
we
started
blaming
on
Camille? Why
different
we blaming Camille?
families. Like, I
Why
don't
are
want to
we
get
blaming
started
Camille?
on different families, because my whole I don't want to get started on different families, because certain families have a whole different spectrum on how I think about how a household should be ran. How
but can
about
I
that?
say
How about I
this?
say it like that?
He going places he don't even.
Can I
No, no,
say
I don't
this?
want to go there because it's so many different avenues I can go there. I could talk about certain families on the top of my hand that these people are rich. I mean, I could talk about them. Like, I mean, if y'all want to get started on just talk, we got a whole show, so we can get started on my unpopular opinion. So
All I
I know it's
gotta
gonna
say
sound
is,
bad. Let me start with my top five, and I'll just let y'all hit some hammers on here. My number one is Will and Jada Pinkett's family.
Number one, what?
For my unpopular opinion. Number two,
wait a
number
minute.
What?
two.
Wait.
Just listen how it's gonna go. Number two is Magic Johnson's family.
But why are you naming these families? What's the topic?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you the topic. Number three is Dwayne Wade's family and Gabrielle Union's family. Y'all see where I'm going with this? Y'all see where I'm going with this? Okay. We could just start with just these top three.
No, do your five, man. Do your five.
No, because you ain't gonna want the last five. The last five ain't gonna be too good.
Just give the last two. Come on now.
Well, number five is the Kanye and Kim Kardashian breakup.
Who's number four?
My number four, bad relationship is sliced between Marvin Gaye and Prince family.
Let me mute myself.
So I'm sorry. I just put my hands on my
Magic
head.
Johnson wrong.
So
Okay.
let me dive in first because I
please.
kind of sort of get where you're going with this. Like you're taking families with issues and you're bringing them to the forefront. But I don't get it because I don't get it because at the end of the day, they're human just like all of us, right? The only difference that they have is they're rich, they got the monies. But this is where we as American people go wrong so many times because we put these people on pedestals. We make them bigger than what they really are.
How could it happen it's on so many different aspects, Miss Felicia? How could it actually happen to some of these kids? How could it happen?
Surprised. Like, I mean, are you surprised? I mean, I
Yes.
think the thing is that we take their money away from them, right? Let's just talk basic family principles. Can we talk basic family principles? We've lost principles along the way. We've lost values when it comes to our families. Y'all, this happens across the world today. It is what it is. You got imbalanced families all around. Like you got all kinds of things going on in the families. They just so happen to be in the forefront on the spotlight and theirs is exposed. But come on into your house. You got the same issues. I'm sure Uncle Bubba and cousin JoJo and all of them got issues too. So it's just
everybody got their issues, but how could it happen? How could millionaires just let things just fester like that is what I call it. Fester,
because they're human. And I would have to give it to Will and Jada. They had already started putting they stuff out on the red table. So when they hit about her having her little rendezvous with the other dude and Will knew about it, it wasn't much of an impact technically. I think the only impact was people wanted to know what Will thought. So my thing is they was already putting they insecurities, they imperfections at the red table talk, which I applauded them. They were just showing everybody, yeah, we got money, we got this and that, but because of that, we got problems. They got problems.
What about you, Miss Marcella, on this? I mean, I'm not trying to touch.
They may have Will and Jada may have an open marriage. Magic Johnson and Cookie Johnson, they had an open marriage too. Sometimes you can be in a relationship with a cheater and you have an open situation going on, willingly or unwillingly. Those two right there, we knew Magic Johnson was sleeping with porn stars and had a prolific sex life, sort of like Wilt Chamberlain. I was fascinated by that because of the scandal of it all. Dwayne Wayne, shucks, he claimed that's an on-break baby, so it don't matter. But Kim Ye, nobody ever really expected her and Kanye to stay married for life. And so I don't judge my relationships by these people who are in the forefront. I applaud Jada and Will for bringing it out there like that, but they're not my representation of what a great marriage is.
I mean,
But they
I didn't
are
even
my
give y'all my number
representation of
6.
what a, but it's working. Like Jada and Will, Dwayne and what's her name? Gabrielle Union.
Gabrielle Union.
Yeah, I mean they seem like they happy. If they like it, I love it.
But what are they doing? Okay, so fill me in on Dwayne and
Dwayne Wade
Gabrielle.
had an arm break. He had an arm break baby just before him
She's
and
on the
Gabrielle
right
Union
foot.
got together. So
What's an arm break, baby?
when you break up and you make a mistake in a relationship, you on break. So it's forgivable because you wasn't together. And
Also,
so
he had a baby before he married Gabrielle.
yeah,
Yes.
literally
So what's the
arm
problem?
break me.
What's the
Well, a lot of
problem?
people had a lot to say about it. She didn't throw. Well, first of all, let's talk about the fact that most women don't leave rich men like that. She ain't going nowhere. Who's she gonna marry? I'm
What?
I'm just saying a lot of women stay with men that have money because they value the lifestyle. They value the
exactly.
lifestyle.
You are
So
correct.
yeah, they
I'm
value the lifestyle. Cookie ain't leave Magic after that huge embarrassment. She still
She
been
shall like.
yeah.
She said,
And
I invested in this marriage.
yeah, Jada and Will, who are they gonna marry? I mean, they say they bad marriage forever. They love each other. They're friends. They accept the fact they're not perfect. They just come to an understanding, and they may, they just probably have an open marriage like Tiny and Ti.
They're gonna honor those
Oh
vows
Lord.
to death do you
See, y'all
part.
going with top 10. Y'all going with top 10. I
Yeah,
mean, I really think Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston was a tragedy.
That was
It
a
just
oh,
Yeah, I mean, it just wasn't good. I mean,
yeah.
when it comes to somebody ruining somebody's life and coming with with Whitney Houston, and I mean, if y'all ever seen, I have a CD, a DVD of Whitney Houston where it has one side of 25 tracks of all
Mm.
songs, and it has another side of all videos where you see the videos of it, and they sound totally almost the same. So her in concert and listening to her CD was pretty much identical, and that relationship got ruined by drugs, just like this DMX type theory, and
Mm-hmm.
these Illuminati, but technically is a house. It all stems to kind of these wasteful things of how are these relationships coming to a bond that I thought you guys was going to talk about, and how these relationships build from not being able to see the children half of the time. That's what I thought we was going to talk about. Yeah. As an actor or actress, they might not see these children for months at a time. This ain't Jay-Z and Beyonce where they can take the child on the tour with them. This is not the same thing. You're
ooh,
getting
let me
paid.
say something.
If you got to see the true spectrum of how these relationships are built and made, that's what we were talking about. Why I gave them top 5 and who was my number 1 is because how they don't even be able to manifest the children that they've already built on their names alone. But go ahead, we'll go backwards. Let's go, Miss Michelle. Let's go with you. Go ahead.
I forgot all about our order. You just made me forget what I had to say, and it was a
All
good
right,
one.
let me hear you, Miss D. Miss D.
So, I mean, first of all, I'm not really clear on the whole totality of the question. Am I just commenting on
The question is
my opinions of these
how did they fail
families,
these children?
the bond between the children and the parents?
Yes.
Okay. I really can't comment. I mean, we know the lifestyle of celebrities, actors, and athletes. They have to travel a lot, so yeah, they're gonna not be in their kids' presence for an excessive amount of time. But I think that if you look at their kids, I would say that their kids, for me, in this day and age, they seem like they're open to be able to express themselves fully in the way that they want to express themselves. And I actually applaud them for allowing their kids to fully express themselves as they want to express themselves.
They still don't get to see him now.
I mean, the kids are grown now. I mean, except for Dwayne Wade, but I mean, like as far as like Willow and Jaden Smith, if you actually listen to some of the things they say, I actually like them. I like their music. I like
Okay.
the personalities. People call them weird and spaced out, but they just have a different thought process. They've been allowed to explore in
Uh-huh.
their education, in their seeking of knowledge. So they've read a lot of different things that many people have not read, and their minds have not been open to. So I like some of the things that they say. So I think I don't really have a negative judgment against how these kids have turned out. If you look at Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, despite the fact that they are, I guess Kim Kardashian's past and Kanye's mental struggles and things he's been through,
I don't know why y'all
they
think
they
something wrong with
they
this man.
raise their kids pretty conservatively, despite the liberal facade of their life. I mean, Kanye doesn't allow his girls to wear certain things. So they're pretty strict with their kids. So
Okay.
I wouldn't say that their celebrity lifestyle has had a negative impact on their kids.
So certain celebrities are more strict with certain kids that they have. I like your thought process on that, on who's a strict parent and who's not. I like that one. That's pretty deep.
But just on the question though, I think it's kind of like I think it's coming from the standpoint of look how the kids came out. It's a travesty because of they didn't spend time with the
I'm
parents.
just saying.
Look how the kids turned out, but I don't see a problem with how the kids turned out. So
he wasn't with them all the time. If he could, he would.
I think that they're living their lives boldly as they want to live them, and
But you did say which parent would be stricter or not, so I did like that. Miss Felicia, I know you have. How many children do you actually have?
I have
to
two.
me, I have 4. Yeah.
Oh, okay. How many you have, Miss Felicia?
I have 2, but I have 2 grandkids as well. My kids are grown, but I have 2 grandbabies.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say this, and I think it's just a reality. I'm gonna be careful with my words because this is public television. And people judge you based upon what you say. But the very things that we're talking about with these families have become the way of the world today.
Okay.
Does it make it right? Does it make it wrong? We can all voice our opinions on that. Like we can say, yeah, the stuff that these kids are doing today is totally wrong. I can only pray that my children grow up and live a life that I would consider ethical in my eyes.
Okay.
These kids, I think where the problem lies is that the parents are totally okay with it. So light bugs, those. So we can't fault the kids because the parents are sanctioning it, for the lack of a better word. Like,
okay.
They're not denouncing it. They're not hiding it. They're allowing them, like you said, to come out and express themselves. They support that.
But what if somebody else influenced them to have that expression?
Yeah, but I mean, just like somebody influenced them, then if the parents was against it, they could uninfluence them. It's just some things I told my kids, you do whatever you do, don't bring it in my house. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. It's just some things I did not allow them to even bring in my presence. And out of respect, I don't care what they do. They can huff and puff and blow the house down. But at the end of the day, I don't know about it, right? Because I set those standards with my children to say, I pray to God that you don't go down that road. I pray to God that you don't, whatever that road may be. But if you do, I don't want to be a part of it. Don't bring it to my house. Don't expect me. And I'm just going to say it the way I want to say it. Don't expect me to accept your lifestyle if it's not conducive to what I expect is right in my eyes. Now, everybody has their own rights and their wrongs.
Miss Michelle, you wanna piggyback on that? And then Marcella take us home with that.
Overall, these families are regular families.
Mm-hmm.
How they raise their kids is how they raise their kids.
Nah, kids don't get beatings like they used to. I don't care.
Wait a minute. However, I
and
will say
and they shouldn't.
some of these families, right? Some of these families
Do
do
that
give
too.
these kids too much freedom. They listen. If I had a lot of money, my sons, no, when I have a lot of money, my sons are gonna be still be like, well, mama, we got money, and did you work for it? Well, mama, you got the money, and you're not going there, but I want to. Well, then go work for it. Go get the money. How you gonna get the money? Go work for it. I'm not giving you no money. My kids will feel like they will be feeling living like they didn't have no money.
Uh-huh.
And I may have a whole stash, $1 million in the bank, but I'm not going to be free with it. And then plus, my kids ain't gonna have freedom and choices. I'm gonna raise them the right way. Okay. I'm gonna raise them the right way according to how God directs me to raise them. And like Felicia said, if they go astray, that is them. But I've done my job. I did my part. So I can't look at these other families with money or without money. All I say is if they didn't have no money, then
I
they'll
want to know if
understand.
they ever got their skin touched. That's all I want to know.
What skin touch, what you mean?
Like
Beat,
skin touch, like
like like spanked, but that
yeah,
ain't the
yeah.
answer. That's not the answer.
I just
Well,
want to know. I just want to know. I just want to see.
spanking ain't always the answer. However,
Just one.
It
if you
works.
get beside yourself, bumps and spanking, it's called this.
Hello.
One good. Sorry, it's public, but and everybody's done it. The cop told me when I was in the mall. I said, "Can I hit them on their butts and I go to jail?" He said, "No, man. As long as you hit them on their butts, we can't take you to jail." I said, "Good, thank you." I grabbed my sons and I beat the crap out of them right there in front of the cop. I'm just saying. It's how you raise them, and if they stray away from it when they get grown, then it's on them. They grown. I don't have no control over them. Like Felicia said, just don't bring it to me because I didn't raise you like that. I raised you to know right from wrong, and these families are giving these kids too much freedom at a young age. Now y'all tell me that y'all have a freedom to say what you want to say and live how you want to live and do what you want to do at the age of 10 or 12. Tell me if
Not
y'all
mama.
had that opportunity. Thank you. So why in
If
the
you
world
had
should we
millions
start
like
doing?
that, you probably be a little bit more easier though.
Huh?
I said if you had millions like that, you probably be
No,
a
Yeah.
I
little bit more
wouldn't.
easier.
No, I wouldn't.
Miss
Because
Marcella, what you think? What's your take on that?
Well, I think they're raising their children to be successful, and that the rules that their children live by aren't the same rules that every other children live by most of the time. Because I mean, we all saw Mommy Dearest, where I forgot her name, but she was beating her kids half to death. I mean, she was very abusive. I do
You
think
talking about my mama?
whoopings have their place.
Flowers in the attic.
You talking about my mama?
But
wait a
yeah,
minute, Marcella, say that first part you just said again about the
oh,
kids.
like I said, they're raising their children to be successful. They
Well,
they
who
don't
said
live
we're
by the
not
same.
raising our kids to be successful?
They're
She not saying
this is
that.
okay.
No,
That's a
no,
good
no.
question, Michelle. No, I can answer that. This isn't an indictment on anybody in the world, you or anybody in the world.
No,
But
no,
you
I'm
know,
not saying you pointed at me. I'm just saying who else that don't have money is in general is not raising their kids to be successful.
Well, see,
I'm saying.
I have another. I'm gonna definitely go
that,
on that one too. On
you
this
wouldn't know
section.
who in the world, who in the whole world is raising their kids. Now, it's a lot of people raising their kids to be unsuccessful.
Yes.
There is. They're not embodying success strategies in their children. And the world that we're living in now, it requires the 21st century requires a different skill set. Conformity is it's not necessary all the time. And I think when we have a traditional mindset, we have a mindset of authority and conformity. I would say that Jada and Will children, Magic Johnson's son, well, daughter, I don't even know what to call EJ, but EJ is a TV personality, a socialite, and a entertainer, and he's made a career off of being Magic Johnson's
Itself.
son. And the rules that
That's
he
true.
lives by, he walks in an area as tall as he is, as tall as he is, able to just be and present however he wants to present. And a lot of people may have a lot to say, but at the end of the day, he's still a very wealthy and I would assume a happy man. Um,
Mhm.
Dwayne Wade, Kim Ye, we already know Kim Ye's kids, they set for life. And the same lessons that they learn are not the lessons of the hood. I grew up in a single parent household that I'm very proud of. I had a very industrious mother, and she gave me what she could. And I feel that she molded me into the woman I am today, along with experiences. But resources is phenomenal. And I think that a lot of these people, like Kim Kardashian's younger sisters, I don't think pretty much any of them went to college because why do they need it? They have people around them with that skill set. So I just think it's a different world, and we're looking at it through the lens of our understanding and not
Mhm.
necessarily the lens of how they live. They live a much different life than we do.
Now, I
Much
would
different.
definitely agree that the lifestyle is way much different.
Yes.
However, in general, everybody's raising their kids to be successful, so they know different than us. Only difference is money.
So my take on this,
I will respectfully disagree with that statement with all
me
due
too.
respect. It's too many
My take
people
on
out
that,
here.
my definite take on this one. I do have something to add on to this one. In DC, they had a 15-year-old and a 13-year-old girl tase a man and then pull him off to the side and kill him. My rebuttal to this unpopular opinion is, should the parents go to jail and get some time as well, or should the kids just be let go for free
How
and
old are
not
they?
get it? 13 and 15.
Lock their tails up, lock the kids' butts up. They lock everybody else up, lock their behinds up, and let them know what it really means and want to be bad.
Yes.
Lock them up. Lock
So
them up.
lock these young sisters up. Okay,
Lock
okay.
them up.
Mr. Molly, what is your take on this one?
So the question was, should the parents go to jail too and get jail time as well? I say no. There are too many dynamics that can play into this. They could have been abused by someone outside, by their parents, by someone besides their parents. They could have been exposed to a lot of things in their neighborhood. A lot of things could contribute to them having the ability to do such a violent act. So no, I don't think you can automatically assume that the parents have a hand in what happened in that. That's an absolute no for me. Now, when it comes to a 13 and 15-year-old committing an act like this, I do feel like I don't think that any kid should just be thrown away. I think that mental health in this country is so underserved, and it's a shame, and it's on purpose. But I really wish that mental health service in this country was much stronger, so people that could actually get help instead of get thrown in jail when they obviously are dealing with some kind of mental instability, or incapacity. So
Go ahead, Marcelo.
Yeah, it breaks my heart. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan said that, if you have uncultivated women, you have uncultivated children. Um, you'd ask the question whether or not people raise their kids to fail or succeed. Nobody wants to see their child fail and end up in jail for the rest of their lives, which is what they're facing. I believe that the guy had a heart attack. I mean, they scared him half to death, you know. But do they deserve life to spend the rest of their life in prison? Unfortunately, somebody lost their life and they don't get a chance to breathe, and their family will suffer for the rest of their life. I get it, but if we believe in the power of our judicial and penal prison industrial complex to to help people overcome the proclivity to be criminals. I forgot the term they use, but they say everybody we're capable of rehabilitating everybody, right? Then if we believe that, then things like the death penalty or going to jail when you're 15 and 13 for life shouldn't be a possibility. Unfortunately, these kids are a part of the lower caste system in this country, and they probably won't be treated fairly. They probably will get charged like adults, like they stated, and dumped in the prison population and abused to live their life, the rest of their lives out, maybe 20, 40 years, I don't know, in horrible conditions. What does that say about our society? Like, I'm not sure. I mean, people don't know what their kids are doing, right? So they parents, they could, I don't know what type of household they came from, but you all know that we were out there doing things that our parents didn't know we were doing when we were younger. Okay, nobody's perfect. Nobody was out there walking a straight line. I can guarantee you that none of you probably were robbing people. But it's just it feeds into the idea that we're animals capable of horrendous acts. And when you see people like the guy at Sandy Hook or the insurgents out there tearing down doors and killing folks, you know, it's a problem with this culture in this country and what's going on in the vein of America. What do I think? Do I think their parents should go to jail? No, because 13 and 15, you know, like, I don't know, their parents could have had a multitude of issues going on, or maybe not. Their parents could have been hard at work trying to provide them with a decent lifestyle. And their parents don't really have control, but I'm pretty sure that their parents feel maybe very guilty, culpable. I think them ladies going to jail for a long time. I think they're going to jail. It's been young Black girls went to jail for less. They're going to jail. Do they deserve to go to jail? I can't be the judge of that. I'll let the law decide.
So question. So they tased the guy and the guy died from a heart attack as a result of being tased.
No, but they had a car. Was it the car?
Or were they robbing him, or what happened?
They got in an accident and he died, and because he was passed out in the car, he couldn't brace himself or nothing, and he got flown from the car.
Goodness gracious! Well, I thought they tased him or something.
They tased him, knocked him out in the car.
Yeah.
And then they drove off with him in the car.
And had
and wrecked it. And he flew out of the car.
This is bananas. They going to jail
instantly. So they going to take the car too. They tase him first. Then they're going to take this car, drive off, and not know how to drive, and then smack into something. He
killed the man.
Projects from the car and kills himself.
Oh, they going to jail.
Yeah.
What is your take on this, Miss Felicia? Since
I did want to vocalize my opinion on this one for sure, because when we think about our children, you know, I'm very careful to judge other folks' children because I don't want nobody to judge mine, right?
Right.
But it's just some things, and again, I'm gonna say, it's just some things I would expect my kids not to do, but I'm sure they do it, right? I'm sure my daughters have done things that I don't ever want to know they did.
Okay.
I also don't want to be held accountable for their actions neither, especially if I've raised them to the best of my ability. Now, I get what Marcella said, that you don't know the dynamics behind the parenting in this particular situation. But if those parents are I don't even know how would you would judge that. But if they're, you know, active parents in their lives and they're setting the principles and the rules and regulations in their home, and those girls just decided to go out and do something stupid, then that's on them. They're 15. And 17, 15, 16, that's their choice. I wish I would. I ain't gonna go to jail for my children. I'm sorry. I love them. But if they made that choice, then, you know, what the old folks say, you made that bet, you lie in it. You know, and I hate to say it, but because this is where I think we go wrong so many times with our children, because it's those parents that have that not my child mentality, that their kids keep doing this crazy stuff that again, take the life of a person. That was ridiculous. That, first of all, they was trying to steal the man's car. Mm-hmm. That's where to me, they crossed all of the lines. It wasn't that necessary. It wasn't even that important. And then when they had the accident, the first thing the girl jumps out of the car and says is, my cell phone is in there. This man laying on the ground, his life has just been taken, and you worried about your cell phone. So there was so many dynamics with that one. My daughter sent it to me, and I saw it, and I was like, "What the world?" There was so many dynamics with that one that, I'm kind of like Marcella. I don't even want to be the judge on that one because, I just pray that my kids, my grandkids, my great grandkids, my lineage don't ever cross those lines. I do. That's just my thing. I don't know what their upbringings are. But I think about so many kids that have murdered and killed innocent people, innocent bystanders, young kids, young Black males, young white males, young Hispanic males, all of them that have done things that they should not have done as children. And imagine the heartache of that parent. Imagine what the parent is carrying, the guilt, the shame, the embarrassment that parent has to carry because of what the child did. And now you want to hold me accountable and I got to go to jail because of what he did or she did? That's not fair.
What if their actions are just not? It speaks volumes on how you raise this child. Like, it speaks volumes of why this child is this way. They shouldn't get penalized for that.
But how do you judge that? What measures do you have to measure that?
What do you mean?
Mom, I do drugs. Or what do you mean when you say they don't the values of them being raised? How do you measure that? I could be a single mom. I'll trying to raise. I mean, well, I could be a single mom out here trying to make money to pay pay the bills in the house, but I take care of my kids.
Like, just cursing all day, and now they cursing all day.
Listen, I grew up in church. I went to church 4 days a week, and so did a lot of my friends. We were still out there like heathens. We were still out there doing any and everything, despite being in church 3 and 4 days a week. So, no, you can't blame it on the parents.
So don't blame the parents for nothing.
A child who is trying to assert their independence and their adulthood, and their place in society is going to make stupid mistakes. Hopefully they've had enough guidance to make better decisions, but even if you do receive guidance, you still make your own decisions. And we see it over and over again in teenagers. Parents give their teenagers good guidance, but teenagers are trying to establish themselves as independent adults, trying to establish themselves as someone who can make their own decisions. And unfortunately, they just go in the opposite direction of what they've been taught. And it's just a part of, it's a part of growing up.
And nobody getting blamed for this? Nobody getting blamed?
Yes, the person who committed the act, the teenager. Yes, absolutely.
But
you have to be held accountable for your own acts.
I have a question. You were asking me right before Damali answer the question, but you were asking me about the parenting, the measure. How do you measure a good parent? I guess I'm just confused as to how do you measure a good parent versus a bad parent. My point, I don't remember your exact words that you said to me, but before
I said like a lot of cussing, like cussing all the time.
That's where you were going with that. Exactly. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. That's what I was trying to hear you say.
Like bad hygiene.
I'm a bad parent because I curse?
Bad hygiene. The kid has like ultimate bad hygiene.
Listen, my brother
being honest.
I don't know.
Don't act like that's not a part of how this child is.
I guess I don't know how you
that child's self-esteem is just totally down. The way the parent has raised the child, raising the best of their abilities, which technically might not be the greatest abilities at that point. You know what I mean? It's just not it. So their self-esteem is totally down, and now they bringing it to the school. It's just, I see it all. Like I've dealt with a school that had totally like tier 3 schools where it was just so bad. You be ducking on your way out. You know what I mean? It's just, you got to understand how they raising these children. Like, it's like a neighborhood that you see just going to throw trash in the middle of the street and expect somebody else to pick it up. I just find it totally unfair sometimes to leave these children at 15 and 13, let them walk the streets by themselves with the mentality that they already have, and what type of child you got. You should get some type of slap on the wrist for it. I'm not asking you to go to jail for 20,000 years, but a good 6 months might get you to look at the spectrum a little different this time. So
So
both of y'all get out.
you're saying hold the parent accountable.
I'm saying both should be accountable for you got it. It got to this stage. How did he get like this? It couldn't have gotten like this not from it coming from home. It just doesn't have to be there.
But wait a minute, you can't judge a parent, and the reason why I can say that, well,
We judge parents all the time.
I understand, but we shouldn't. We shouldn't, because my mom had twin boys, and I pretty much helped her raise my brothers. And my mom taught my brothers from the beginning to end, because they was boys, what to do and what not to do. It's about how they've been influenced by the outside world. And when my brother got in trouble, my mama called me crying here when I was in college. And she was like, your brother's in trouble. He's on his way to juvie. What shall I do? I said, let his butt go to juvie. Why did I say that? Because of the fact that my mom, and I know for a fact because I was there, she taught him right and from wrong. She taught him what to look out and what not, and what to stay away from as a man. So for him to be influenced by his friends and get in trouble, I told her to send his butt to juvie, and then went to jail. How about after the juvie and the jail, he ain't never been back to juvie and jail no more? That's what I'm saying. You can't judge how the parents raise the kids, because there's other influences out there besides inside the house of the family. So that's what I'm saying. You can't judge the way somebody raised their kids, because you don't know all the factors, as it was previously stated.
Right. So you can't tell them. We can't just look at the facts and see if one or two of them should go, just to give them. I'm trying to tell y'all, somebody got to. Nope.
No.
So nothing at all, huh?
No, because like the Molly said, the PK kids, all the kids in church, because we had to go to church all the time, we knew from right from wrong. And the proof of point, we still became heathens. To tell our parents, hey, you can have me in church all you want. I still see this in the world, and I want to go experience and see what it's all about. Influence. You can beat it in them. You can teach them all you want. But that world, that influence is going to grab hold to them. And unless they solid in themselves and confident in themselves, and they know who they are, then they wouldn't be able to be swayed like that.
So, Marcella, what you think about that?
I just think the whole backdrop, the whole story is just bananas. I do think that one way that the victim's family could go after the parents is in civil. They could do a civil suit, and that's because they were in charge of them children. Them children were theirs. They're minors, and as a result, they could probably make the argument that they were bad parents, and probably sue the pants off of them for damages. In all honesty. But outside of that, we really don't, you can't control, unless you're the type of mom or dad that your kids think surely he or she's going to kill me if I breathe wrong. For the most part, I think children and teenagers are going to do what they want to do. And this is just, I'm pretty sure they didn't mean to kill that man. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so the sympathizer in me is coming out. I'm pretty sure that they didn't mean to kill that man. They
mean to tase him, and crash his car
and rob his car.
Yeah, they had just larceny in their heart. They was committing a crime, but I don't think they went out to murder anybody that day. It just got out of hand.
Stupid.
I would say I don't want to call them stupid, because they know that we would have to assume that they have to know that robbery is wrong. So they know right from wrong. It was premeditated because they planned it. I think he was an Uber driver, right?
Yeah.
But they still had, obviously their mind wasn't fully, their minds are not fully formed, number one, at that age. They didn't think that thing through. They didn't think the
set it off act through. Okay.
They didn't think it through. They're going to go to jail. They should be punished. Should they be put in with the regular population? I don't think so, because they are children, and they will be victimized and abused and possibly killed in jail. They should be. Do you put high-level criminals with other kids? I mean, this thing is, it's just a hard call. I think
Okay.
that if their parents have a lot of money is going to come into play because if they have high power lawyers, they could possibly get them leniency
Okay.
because money talks. But this they have to be held accountable, and I just don't know. I please, I just hope I'm not on that jury. That's all I could say. I mean, that's a hard one. It's a hard one. No, the
So
parents.
nobody wants the parents to go at all. Nobody on
No, the
here.
parents definitely should go to jail.
Nah,
Other
Th-
than
it-
Mr.
Again,
B. Other than Mr. B thinking that.
nah,
I
Mr.
mean,
B. Mr. B, you cannot be an ally of the system, bro. Come on, man. You can't
I'm
align
Yeah,
with this system, with
you
this
know
I
the
just
people
prison
who
think
got
the
industrial
outside
parents
to
should
the
complex.
be
belly of the
just
beast, you
a
know don't
little
get a
small
chance.
uppercut in the stomach for the parent. I'm
Do you have
sorry.
kids? Do you have kids?
Yes, I have a 7-year-old girl.
all I would say is this. Uh, yeah, that you just. That's where people use the legal system loopholes to get them out of trouble.
Okay.
I think that they should take their bus to jury. Now I will say throw them in with the wolves since they want to act all big, all like a big bad wolf. Throw your butt in there with other wolves, and they'll teach you a lesson. But temporarily, just to get their
They're gonna be more mouthy going in with the regular people though.
huh?
They're gonna use that as they got clout, you know what I mean? Seniority when they get out. So I don't know if that should be a good thing.
All
When
I
it
say
comes
is
to being able systematically, I think they should be walking with their parents in jail personally, but that's just me.
well,
If,
yeah. I think yours would be. I think it would be like more 60-40. More 60 the kids should go to jail, and 40 kids and parents should go to jail. I can see that being
I
close as
mean, it's
far as
never
proportion.
happened in the history of. I know. I'm sorry, Miss D. I'm
Oh,
sorry, but
you would
it's
definitely
never
have
happened
all
in the
kinds.
history of law enforcement that the kid and the parents went to jail. It's never happened in the world in the history of the world. But just some type of on the wrist, real quick.
But I'll tell
I'm
you
not
what,
I'm not saying forever.
if that law became a reality, it'd be a whole lot of us going to jail.
Yeah, to see that's my whole
That's
like.
why I don't support that kind of
Yeah, but the
legislation. I
kid that
don't
did the
support us
Columbine and
going there.
all that, the parents should have been in jail with them too.
But they're not going. You know
No,
this.
Um, I mean, that's just I'm saying. I know a lot of the black people would go, but I'm just saying, just that small mentality of like that little theater shooting when the kid went to the theater and shot up. Parents should have definitely went to jail for that one. See, I got like a million cases that parents should have went to jail because they the ones who gave him the gun, taught him how to shoot, like all of those different things. Like these are different things. These are different aspects. I think the parents should go. That was premeditated. Or the one that went to the parade and shot all those people up. Those parents should be in jail too. It's just my take on the aspect of you raising your children to be whoever you want them to be. If you're going to raise them to be racists and tyrants, you got to pay the price with them. You know what I'm saying? You made them who they are, like the Malvo. Okay. For instance, the DC sniper. Both of them went to jail. You know what I'm saying? Both of them went to jail because they did
But
the
the
act
youngin,
together.
but the youngin was influenced by an authority figure. I think they should have had leniency on him, on the young one.
Okay, he got lesser years. He did get lesser years. But that's what I'm saying. The parent at this point should get lesser years. Shouldn't even get no years, but they should get at least 6 months.
Yeah,
Just,
right. There'd be so
just
many
a little,
people in jail.
just a
There'd be
little.
so many people in jail.
Just go to jail with them for like 6 months to show them the way. This is how it's gonna be.
It'll still be a lot of black people in jail and a lot of other people not in jail with the same type of laws. We already know this. We don't need to give them any more reasons to put us in jail.
That's true too. That doesn't make it right though. It doesn't make it right. I'm just saying it doesn't make it right because it just gives the kids another avenue that they can kill before they get
I do
older.
support if you're a parent and you know that your child has a mental illness, i.e., you're taking your kid to therapy once a week, and you allow them to have access to your high-powered rifles and magazine shooting guns, then yeah, you should be held. You should be charged with criminal neglect, or
Okay.
something.
So you got some type of stipulation over there.
Yeah, I mean,
Anybody else?
if you allow somebody in your home with a mental illness to have access to guns, and not, it's just it's the same thing as letting your child have access to your gun and they accidentally shoot somebody. You're held
Anybody else
responsible
take
for
on
that.
this one? No, anybody else take on this one? I'm the only one though that will at least give them something. But you saying that something's gonna mess it all up for everybody. It's just gonna get worse. All right, I'll leave it alone then.
It's a slippery slope. In some instances, the parents are culpable because of, like she said, the neglect, and that should be taken into account. But I say, pound for pound, probably most parents don't know that their kids out there commissioning a crime.
Okay. Well, my take on this one, I'm gonna end that one, but I'm definitely gonna go with this take. You reiterated a gentleman in this one particular scene and skit. So the skit said about, was it Malcolm Minister Farrakhan. Now you know Minister Farrakhan has been kind of like X out of the media for good for in Facebook and then on Instagram.
Oh, I
But
didn't
now
know
the
that.
government, yeah, but now the government is blaming this last killing on the Nation of Islam and Farrakhan. Did you guys know that?
I'm not surprised.
They said because he was a full-out Muslim, and
Mm-hmm.
now they're going to blame the Muslims for going rogue on the government.
Wait, which killing is this? I'm sorry.
The DC thing that happened in DC, someone ran the Capitol and killed a policeman and wounded a couple other guards. And he was a black man and he was a Muslim, highly into Farrakhan. So they're trying to basically ban Farrakhan from being able to say anything at this point. What is your take on the newfound let's ban Minister Farrakhan? Felicia, do you got anything to say about this one right here?
I again, that's almost the equivalent of what we just talked about, holding a parent accountable for something that a child did.
Okay.
This guy here had a major mental imbalance. That's the one thing that I think we really need to talk about, because D's been saying it all night. If there's an imbalance there, then counseling needs to be sought. Like therapy needs to be given to this person, whether it's a child or a grown adult. But this particular person was a 22, 23-year-old black male. He wasn't a kid. He wasn't a kid, grown man. But he had mental psychological issues. His parents even said it, like he had been hallucinating 2 days before. For the last 24 to 48 hours, he was hallucinating. You didn't do anything about that. Now that, if you want to talk about holding parents accountable and putting them in jail, then let's look at the bigger scope of this. You knew something was wrong with your child, and your grown child at that, and you didn't do anything. So to hold Farrakhan or anybody else responsible for his actions, unless he was just told specifically to go and run into the Capitol and kill everybody that you see in sight, I don't see why that has any. For that matter, it's like saying I'm a Christian, but you holding my pastor accountable for what I did. That's so unfortunate. Now the other thing that I say is, let's look at the scope of this. The guy had a knife. He thought he was going to go in there and kill people with a knife when all these officers got in there with guns. So it tells you there was an imbalance there. It was totally, he wasn't in his right frame of mind.
Okay, what about you, Miss Michelle, on this Farrakhan basically getting creamed by the media on this killing and shooting?
I would definitely have to pass on that because I'm not familiar with what's going on. I don't watch a lot of TV, so.
Okay. What about you, Miss Damali?
Well, in general, I'm against the banning of anybody from being able to freely express themselves. I think it's a great injustice what's going on right now with social media. I don't even think President Trump deserved to be banned. I don't think anybody should be banned. Everybody should be able to speak freely. That's just my opinion. You know, I don't care what your message is, as long as you're not saying go out there and kill 1,000 people and
That's
off
basically
with
what
their
he
heads
tells
and
you to
da, da, da.
do.
No, bro, it's not what he's saying. But anyway, I don't believe in censorship at all. I don't believe in censorship at
Just
all.
freedom of speech, huh?
And yeah, freedom of speech. And too many times, the people who are speaking out against what's going on with our government and the people who are actively speaking out against what is going on with our politicians they're just being censored right now, left and right. Anybody speaking out against the narrative that's going on in the mainstream media have been censored. And I don't agree with it from any standpoint, from a black nationalist standpoint, from a KKK standpoint, from a I, nobody deserves to be censored.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Okay.
I have
Wow.
to agree with her on that. I will have to agree with her on that. Everybody should have a freedom of speech. Like right now, we have the freedom of our speech. We're giving our opinion. Everybody has their own opinion. Just make sure
Uh,
you're just not going out there telling everybody to kill everybody or do certain things that's going to bring harm to people. But overall, everybody, and it is all about control. And I mean, I hate that what happened with the situation at the Capitol happened, based on Trump being free with what he spoke. Because I mean, it just brought, people under the assumption he was telling them to do what they actually did,
mhm.
so it's woo, we living in a world where it could be right and it could be wrong. I mean, it's just everybody's going to stand on the law that benefits them. And it's all about control. When you're being censored, it's just the fact that people know you can make a difference and you can say something to make people realize the truth. And they just trying to control you. And they just trying to control the environment and the situation. That's all.
What is your take on this, Marcella?
Yeah, but I had to mute my mic because I couldn't control myself. I thought I was going to be making comments while other people make comments. Look, we cancel everybody. This is a cancel culture. First of all, first and foremost, the real issue is mental health and why he wasn't able to get the needed mental health to prevent him from doing what he did. His parents knew he was, batshit crazy, and well, let's not call him crazy because crazy is discounting him, right? See,
Uh-huh.
when people want to claim that you're doing something that's against what they think you should do, the first thing they do is try to discredit you, right? And
Mm,
so I don't want to discredit him. He had his reasons. I don't agree with running people down in the street. I want to say that first and foremost. But I
okay.
believe, based on what we just stated, what was recently stated, I believe he had mental health concerns. He's no different than many people that go on a rampage like that and do things that just blows our mind. It just blows our mind, right? Unfortunately, somebody lost their life. So I think we got away from that issue, and then somebody politically and very cleanly shifted the blame the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. And now we trying to cancel him again like it's his fault. But all them other people that was storming the Capitol, they follow ideologies and religious thoughts, and nobody's going after their leaders. So
Very
yeah,
true.
exactly. I don't agree with what he did. When I looked at him, I'm like, wow, he didn't look like he would do what he did.
Okay.
Um, so the question is, we talked about violence against women, other people, and gun violence a couple of episodes ago, and the issue is, why do we have this violence permeate in our society? Why aren't we doing things to help people with mental health concerns? Why are we trying to shift the blame to Louis Farrakhan and not to where it belongs? And that's squarely on his shoulders, and also the shoulders of any organization, doctors, or just society's fault. I'm just gonna blame on society because we have people who are homeless in society. We really don't do as much as we could do about it. We have people with mental health issues, and it's only time we pay attention to them is when they do something like this,
Okay.
and it can lead to homelessness. The violence. Nobody's talking about the violence and the mindset. And also, I don't understand how they're gonna make that connection with Louis Farrakhan like it's his fault. Louis Farrakhan didn't send that man on a kamikaze mission. How about playing the video games and the television that
Okay.
shows on average it's hundreds of women being shown on TV every second being victimized in some way, smacked around, killed, whatever. The violence is ridiculous.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
my thought on it.
Okay.
I don't even remember the
Okay.
question. I'm just very
It,
emotional about it
it
because
was talking about how they blame the Muslims for killing, for doing the for doing this one particular killing at the Capitol. They still haven't even arrested, and all of the people haven't even gone through all of the different trials for the other quote
insurgents.
unquote insurgencies on America that day. So they still got work to do on that, and they're still firing a couple cops that let them in. Like, oh, go on ahead, go on ahead. So it was kind of, it
Yes,
was a whole different phase. Like me actually being out here, I was told not to even take the train. Like, don't even get on the train. You might as well just forget about it. So it was a
yes,
whole different phase of
yes.
how we're living today. But these are some aspects that I wanted to bring to you guys to understand. I know I might be going around in circles, but bridging the gap amongst what we're doing every day to acknowledge the knowledge of what we're doing with trying to help people, trying to make them better, trying to live different lifestyles. Certain lifestyles may get touched. The most famous people that's getting looked at today may get touched on. I still think, out of all these different families that we talked about, I don't see any whoopings coming along. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see one spanking that out of everybody we talked about today. I can't see a spanking coming. I don't know. Willow, Jada, no, can't see none of them getting spanked. It's just I don't even know if the adults got spanked at this point. It's just I got to really think it through. Bobby Brown maybe out of all of them, but everybody else, yeah. Mm, mm. So me saying the philosophy of down home spankings might have worked at least one time. I know it doesn't make them better, make them stronger. I never had to, spank my Lala, to be honest to you. All I did was have to look at her differently, and then she shut down. So that was kind of different. She just going to shut down. Ah, we shut down, I see. That's good. So that's a different phase of being able to raise certain kids and being able to, like, legitimately get to them, knowing that, you're not going to play. Like, I could see in everybody's aspect, actually, I can see that nobody really plays around when it comes to kids. Like, even Marcella, I know a kid's not just going to brush up against you and you're not going to just let them bump you and not say, excuse me. Like, there should be excuse me coming right after. Like, I know you wouldn't
No,
let
I've
that
been
go
cussed out by kids, man. I've been cussed out by kids.
in.
I just let them do what they're gonna do because you know what? At the end of the day, they're not my kids. I've taught children in high school. Some of them
Okay.
are very, personable and respectful. Some of them are just flat out
But you could tell
belligerent.
which one got tapped because they got a
No,
different respect factor.
well, remember we used to be able to get beat down in school by the nuns, by the teachers, by the principals, but then they made it illegal. So it's different now. And beating does, just like a band-aid works on a small cut and the cast works on a broken arm. It's times and places for that. I do think a child should be physically redirected whenever they're
Okay.
going to start cause harm to themselves. You
Was
know,
physically redirected,
redirected.
shaking a little bit, shaking that stirred, shaking.
If they're going to harm themselves or others in that instance, but if you have a reasoning child that you raise to be able to listen and understand, that child, you know how to redirect them. I don't feel that just because I don't I've never seen Will or Jada Smith children out there talking about gangster violence, drugs, anything. They're just living whatever life they've created for them and creating a life for themselves. I don't see any of these people's kids out there robbing a guy and knocking him out and have him catapult through a window. I don't see any of their children doing that. I'm not saying that they won't or that they're not capable of it, But just because their kids are a little different, don't mean or being raised differently than what we think, don't mean that they deserve a beating, Mr. B. You keep wanting to give people a spanking. You
Just a
want to keep
little.
giving people a spanking.
Might be
You
that
spank
fraternity
yourself.
thing. Might
Don't
be
be
might be the
spanking
fraternity
your
thing coming out.
kids.
Might be the
Spank
fraternity thing coming out.
yourself. Hazing.
You
We ain't even
know.
gonna talk about the hazing.
Please don't. Please don't. Don't want to go there. Don't want to go there. That's a place I will not touch at all when it comes to having a conversation.
We
Okay.
need to. We need to talk about hazing and how, in some instances, the hazing has killed some people, and for what? And should the people who was involved with the hazing go to jail, or should their parents go to jail? I
They
think
do go to jail.
they do go to jail. Oh, I didn't know
Yes.
they went to jail.
What?
If
Yes, they go to jail.
somebody is harmed, in a criminal way, yeah, people go to jail.
You go to jail. The whole half the fraternity go to jail. They all go. They don't leave no no stone unturned.
That's
So
if somebody is like killed or like something serious happens.
they don't leave nobody out. Put it that way. Everybody, you lose your letters, all that type of stuff. So the only thing, me personally, me in the fraternity, I have a brand. You can't like rip the brand off. It's like it's nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean? I know that sounds crazy. I have brandings and everything, but at this point in time, ladies, I really want to kind of take it light with y'all tonight.
Wait a minute. You only had one comment on the spanking now.
Because I really feel as those kids should get spankings.
I disagree.
But I listened to you say kids should get spankings, but except for that one little time I was gonna spank Lala and I didn't have to. So
I didn't have to because she already shut down.
Wait. This is where I'm going with this. I noticed how passionate you were about your Lala and not spanking her. And so there again, as with any parent, we have expectations.
I got close. I raised my hand, but it was no need.
Anywho, you want us to go beat our children, but you ain't trying to beat yours.
I'm just saying.
We get it.
You should get popped. Like I was just waiting on the turn. I was waiting on my turn, and I thought that might have been my only chance. But
she's 7, and you've never spanked her, right? She's 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
You said she's 7, but you've never spanked her.
I was close.
Come on now. Now listen, I spank my children, but I am shifting. I'm trying to shift away from that, and it's because I've learned, and I want to do better. I think that spanking is a default response to a judgment that we place on our children who are growing and trying to figure out the world around them. I just been reading different things, and I just come to learning about energy and emotions. It's just I have a desire to not be a force in my child's life that brings on trauma and emotional damage. So I feel like having conversations with my kids, getting an understanding of their perspective, why they did what they did, and have a conversation to where they can get a different understanding and perspective will help them to make better decisions. But just beating them, even with my kids, spanking them, they'll still go back and do the same thing over and over and over again after a spanking. So I don't really see the spanking.
13 and 15 too old to be spanking.
Exactly. My kids are my oldest of my 4 is 8. So they're at that age where they can get a spanking, but I don't want to spank them.
And I believe women spank the boys a lot more.
Yeah, I am a little harder on my son than I am on my daughter.
Just look at Michelle shaking her head.
And he's the oldest.
I've gotten tore up myself.
He's the oldest. But yeah, I think that especially for Black parents, I think that we default to physical punishment because that's where we came from. We came from a background of slavery. We came from a background of if you don't obey, then you are beaten. And that has been passed down from generation to generation, and we beat our kids like the master beat us. And I think that our kids deserve much better than that. I think they deserve a conversation and the chance to get a better understanding and to make better decisions and to dialogue and get an understanding of where they're coming from. Because a lot of times, where in the past I would have spanked my kids for something, and actually taking the time to control my emotional response and having a conversation with them has revealed that it's innocent. It's just a lack of understanding, boredom, just needing mommy's attention. It's a lot of different things that cause some of the behaviors that we spank our kids for.
See,
And
I
a
get
lot
the
of
same
times
crying
they
without
just
without
they just
hitting.
want us to get our faces out the phone and pay attention to them.
I
It's
get the
little,
same
it's
crying
a lot
without
of little
hitting.
things.
That's all I'm saying. I get that same cry without hitting them.
But
Listen, I went
but I don't want
berserk
to be
on.
I don't want to be the one that provoke my kids to crying. I don't want
I'm
them to
just
be
saying. I'm
afraid.
just saying. I can emotionally get the same amount of spectrum from the kid without hitting them at this point. Since I'm much smarter, I can outthink them at this point. Like, hold the book, but hold it in a certain way. You got to still read the book, and the book is heavy. It's just a little
Right.
mind game.
But wouldn't it be great though if your child came to the understanding that something was wrong without seeing the tears?
Well, sometimes you gotta have tears so you can feel good about the tears. Like, I'm glad you're crying about this. That makes me feel as though I got something accomplished. If I didn't get any tears, then I might get more tearful or upset about you not getting emotional about it. Like, I didn't get any emotions about this. This is not good. It's just a whole theory on it. I have a theory though. At least I'm thinking it through before it goes astray. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But back in the day, my mother, she could just smack you in your hand and you could just think you about to lose half your arm. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, did she tear the skin off?
Yeah. But think about some of the things we spank our kids for. Like, I mean, when you're an adult, did you ever think, damn, I made a mistake? Somebody needs to whoop my ass.
Nah, cussing somebody else out isn't good.
You never thought, I messed up. I need my ass whooped right now as an adult. Kids don't need their ass whooped for every little thing they mess up on,
I mean, and this, so you think these little girls 13 and 15 didn't need a whooping at the time? What's their punishment?
They probably came from a household where they were getting spanked.
See, I don't know the theory, but I believe that though. They was probably getting tore up every night. Yeah. I don't know. You never know. And look, my son gonna say yeah on that. Okay.
Yeah, it had to be some level of neglect. I got my last beaten when I was 18 years old. I went to a hip hop concert, and I was constantly breaking my curfew, and then came back and got flipped at the mouth. So the age cut off. I mean, after a while, you just have to, But my whole point is, what's driving the spankings? Is it the fear? Oh gosh, she's out all times of night. Is it fear? Is it bewilderness? What's driving the spankings? I would say that there is a direct correlation between slavery and the history of abuse of our children. You pass trauma down. I doubt if there was any psychologists or mental health opportunities for us right after slavery. So maybe I would envision that perhaps we had the inability to cope with certain things, and perhaps our children behaving the way we need them to, their lives could have been at stake. So that's a very quick way. It probably was very necessary just to beat the snot out of them to get them. I'm just saying, I can't even imagine. I mean, those type of environments where you live in, where it just wasn't an environment conducive to freedom or anything. So I'm pretty sure before the parents would say anything, they probably just acted on it after working out in the fields, picking cotton and stuff for 20-hour days. And who knows? But the whole point I'm making is beatings aren't the only thing that you could do to help your children understand that certain behavior is acceptable or not acceptable. And I will say that nonconformity is a recipe for success. So one of these children, a lot of times children, when I was younger, they'd be like, children would be seen, not heard, shut up, child, go sit at the kiddies table. We couldn't even sit at the table with the adults. We had a place in the family, and we knew that place wasn't front and center, as far as having a say about anything, bedtime, what we wore, what we eat. But nowadays, a lot of parents like to give their children that latitude so that they can have a say. And I would say it could go well, it could backfire. It all depends on the kid. So I don't think that the beating is the whole answer. Our kids get beat down enough, but I do think they could be a very effective tool when the child is doing something, or the adult, Only if that child is doing something in your presence that could cause them harm or cause you harm, you might have to put them in the headlock.
What's up with you, Miss Felicia? What you think on that one?
You may have to, Felicia. You might have to. If one of your grown kids are coming around and they doing something that's about to get everybody hurt, they got to be stopped and neutralized. Like if the lady she saw her son in the car trying to do that, she would have had to do something to redirect his behavior as his mom or his father.
What you think Miss Felicia stopped and neutralized over?
Stop and neutralize them if they doing something to hurt themselves or others.
What's up with your opinion on that? You still on mute.
I said, I told you I'm a great listener, and I heard you say 5 minutes ago that you were going to keep us long tonight, so I checked out. Like,
oh my goodness!
I'm sorry. You should have said it. You said you was calling this conversation to an end, and y'all was.
I am, but I was just. They
I
just
checked
wanted
out.
to.
I'm sorry. You said you was cutting it short, and I was like, oh yay! But no, to answer your question, I don't know. Like, I think it's just different. It's just a different world we live in. Y'all know I've been saying that for the last 2 hours tonight. It's just a different world we live in.
That's it. What about you, Miss Michelle? I just believe spanking them is spanking them. That's it. That's it. Just give them a little spank.
She been gone.
Maybe once or twice. All right, ladies. I just wanted to bring y'all in a little easier today.
I still go berserk on my kids.
So I believe that. I believe that.
I still go, but when I go berserk on my sons, they go running in their room. If I go berserk on my sons, I got about a good 2 hours of peace before they peeking their heads out to see, okay, is the coast clear? I put it this way. I agree with the Molly on not always beating them. And I said the word beat because we all use that word beat. We all got beat. We didn't get whooped. We got beat. And I'm starting now to see these kids nowadays, they smart. So the whooping and the popping and stuff, they get immune to it. So I get it. I hit them where it hurts. So when they be wanting stuff, Mommy, can we do this? No. Remember when you did this? Go sit down. You're not. And then they start crying. I'll be like, next time you won't do it, won't you? So I get it where it hurts them now. Cause these are little small little bastards up in there. You know, they smart. They smart now. They, whoopings. We was like, okay, I ain't doing it no more. These kids nowadays, oh, you gotta start. Well, Mama, you gotta hit it to them where it hurts, cause beating them, I guess we got beat all our life through our genes. When it got to them, they were like, oh, we immune to it.
You sure right, because at 13, I was like, you know what? That's worth the spanking. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take that spanking.
Exactly.
You measured your spanking.
I made decisions like that at 13. Yeah, that's worth the spanking.
Exactly. Wait a minute. How about my 6-year-old? I go in there and get him a few licks, even though it stung and hurt him. He looked at me like, okay, Mom, all right, I'm gonna be good for a few minutes and I'm going right back. That's the look he gave me. I'm gonna be right back in it. Like the only thing that little whooping gave him, it just stung him. It ain't. But when I go berserk, when I get a certain look in my eye, so I guess we just gotta go crazy on them. But I even stop that. Say, okay. When they be like, Mommy, we're gonna go to urban, we're gonna go to the go jumping today. Nope, we stay at home. It's boring. Well, remember when you did that? Well, we ain't going. Even though I be hating because I be trying to get out the house, but I got a point to prove. As a parent, I got points to prove.
So now that we bring this whole thing to a close today, I know we've brought things all around. I still believe in, parents still should get a little slap on the wrist for what their kids should do. Or it makes no sense that the kid run free and then the parent go free and we back into the circle again. Both should get slaps on the wrist, to be honest. But I'm going to let it go. As I digress on that, we can agree to disagree.
You have such double standards.
No,
Did you?
I want to spank her, but ain't no reason to give it to
Man,
her like she
good night.
deserves.
Good night, Irene. You want us to be our children, but you ain't trying to whoop Lala. That's what y'all see. Y'all parents.
I would if I could.
Yo, if you could. That's my point.
Y'all
If
stop
you
beating
could.
those babies.
I'll
Stop
be
beating them.
mine. I don't, especially my
I
grandkids.
haven't. That's all I gotta say. I would love to. If she gave me any chance, I would try. I would try her. I would try. I'd be like, yes, this is my moment. This is my very moment.
You should be like, yes, I never have to spank her, and she's getting it right. Come on,
And
Mr. B.
you wouldn't do it then. You wouldn't do it then.
How you know what I do? What you talking about?
Because you are daddy.
You
That is,
But she got
you
you
know,
wrapped.
It's what you
She got
saying
you
right
wrapped around
now.
that little
exactly.
You're not
You're
gonna
daddy.
spank
Don't do
no
that.
child.
Don't do that.
She got you wrapped.
I will work them legs out if I had to.
No,
Yeah,
you
if
wouldn't.
you had to.
No, you wouldn't.
Exactly.
I would.
You'll
Don't
be
do it, Daddy. Don't do
you
it,
be
Daddy.
trying to talk to a la now. Don't push daddy now.
I don't even have to do all that. I could just look different and things will stop. So that's
Yeah,
good.
okay.
That's
But
good. Look at
you
you.
know, I already
All right.
said your baby's 7 years old and you ain't
Yeah.
never spanked her.
No,
So
I
now,
haven't. I
I
haven't.
mean, but that's good. That's a good
You're
thing.
lucky. That's only
That's a
one
good
out of
thing.
my 4. Only one out of my 4 do that.
All right. So once again, I am Stradivari, Mr. B. Mr. B has a virtual music store and a virtual music school that I actually do. I do artwork and I also do virtual lessons on every last instrument, from voice to brass instruments to woodwind instruments to even a little small recorder, piano, and your voice. So basically, my job is to make kids popular and talented musicians by building up their mentalities on being great and also growing and making them healthy, good, strong scholars to become scholars in schools. I've gotten 46 kids into schools, into Morgan States, into Howard universities, and now I had 6 kids that actually have full scholarships in music and graduated with 4.0. So I do
Good
have
job.
a good rapport with that. So by me saying that, let's go ahead and finish out with your business, Miss Marcella. Let's take it home.
Okay. Hi, I'm Marcella, own Every Rubik LLC. We help clients strategically plan and achieve professional and business goals. We provide you with knowledge, the tools, and the techniques that will enable you to create the powerful results that you seek. You can learn how to grow and monetize your ideas utilizing strategies that work, and I would say instantly through social media platforms. We look to partner with organizations and people who are impacting society positively by addressing issues such as homelessness, the digital. We wanted to close the digital divide, the prison industrial complex. We're interested in any organizations that help those who are exiting prison repopulate into society, and many others, women's issues. So if you're interested, reach out to me at erubic.com, www.erubrick.com. Thank you.
All right, Miss Michelle.
Hello, everybody. Michelle Black here with the Kingdoms Group, where we meet all your business administrative and travel needs. So, just go ahead and do it. Just give us all the work and let us do it for you and release you of all the stress, the anxiety that comes with doing all the administrative paperwork in your business. And then if you're trying to plan a trip, seminar, meeting, even plan your own family vacation or a group trip, and you don't feel like dealing with those people, call us, the Kingdoms Group. We have Kingdom Administrative Services and Kingdom Travels. Take care.
Miss Felicia.
Hey, everybody, I'm Felicia Jones, and I am the owner and founder of Smart Scholars Academy, which is a licensed childcare center here in Rocheron, Texas. And we are currently enrolling and recruiting. So if you or anybody you know is looking for childcare, hit us up. We provide excellence when it comes to education, especially to our African American children. I am also the founder of Smart Scholars Foundation, a nonprofit 501c3 organization that believes in supporting and providing the resources and giving back to our children. We partner with Title I schools here in Houston, where as we go into the schools and we provide the resources, the funding, the means by which our children can actually live by and have a better world when it comes to them and their schooling. So we support our children in so many ways, definitely through our nonprofit organization.
And
Good
Miss
evening.
D.
Okay, sorry. Good evening, everybody. I'm Damali. You can find me on the internet at Journey with Damali on Facebook and Instagram. You can also I'm also a member of Journey with Damali. Journey with Damali is my blog, which is basically just documenting my journey with my family, um, as far as mental health issues and healing, and also my journey of self discovery and healing as well. And I'm also a member of Our African Family here in Houston, Texas. We serve the neighborhood of Fifth Ward, which is an underserved community. We help with all the different needs of the community. We do a lot of mentoring with the youth programs. We have community garden. We do Teen Summit every year. There's a lot of different programs that we support within the community. So you can find us online at Our African Family. That's African with a K, ourafricanfamily.org.
All right, all right. Well, once again, you have just met these four fantastic ladies for their unpopular opinion, which with you have Mr. Stradivari, Mr. B involved. With the ATS, this is an powerful group of people that come together and give their opinions about building self-wealth, self-help, self-care, and mentalities on loving each other and one another and building from each other. Now, this unpopular opinion today was a little bit testy when it comes to, a little bit on the family life of what I, consider, what's going on with the family life, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? I need to know. Maybe they need a little bit of tap tap. You never know. You never know. But it happens when it comes to my unpopular opinion. And today, my unpopular opinion was just a little bit unpopular for the ladies to be able to handle. But let's not understand. We all have, and our opinions are true to each other and true to each other and true to ourselves. So when I had a definite say of, my Cardi B versus, the Bill Cosby case, it still has a popular stipulation of the man versus the woman, and how could we just let this go by and let these things go by every day with their opinions and our opinions? How are these opinions made law? So as I say, good night, ladies. We should definitely do this again, do this once more. And I will say good night and have a great one.
Good night.